Yep, it's wet out here, it's cold, but I'm excited because sometimes you get a visionary, a person or a company which doesn't just change one thing, they turn the entire world on its head. Less than 3 decades ago, Wang Chuanfu founded BYD, Build Your Dreams, a company which has innovated the automotive market, the technology front, the forward-thinking green future efficiency space, and pretty much everything we can think of in terms of smartphones tech in some way can be attributed to this company. They're not just changing one thing, they're shaking everything up. Here's to the dreamers, the visionaries, the people who aren't afraid to think outside of the box and really shake up the game. Meet George Jetson. You got to find that quite interesting. You're getting a kind of a whirring sound. It's become a legislative thing. But welcome also to the future of mobility with BYD, Build Your Dreams. They're more than just another automaker. They really are revolutionizing the space of mobility, EVs, forward thinking, smartphones, tech, you name it. It's a company on a mission. Please talk about 4 seasons in one day. Well, we are in the mother city, and Cape Town, let's face it, the weather can be a bit temperamental. The skies earlier looked beautiful and imposing, but it was that intimidating presence, the grayness. Now we're out here on the road and it's spitting down. But what a place to be seated in an EV, because let's face it, I can hear the rain perfectly coming down. It's a calming, beautiful place to be seated and talk about this, the BYD Dolphin. Now, it's not my first time in a BYD. That would have been last year back in China, actually in Shenzhen, when all the taxis and buses and so many vehicles out there, they have changed the game of mobility. But it's my first time driving one here on Mzansi roads, and what I can tell you is, wow, BYD are on a mission. On the outside, the BYD Dolphin, it's got some striking lines. It really does stand out. I love the lights in the front, the LED lighting, as well as at the back, the way it crosses and intertwines. It certainly looks the part, but apart from the cute city slicking dimensions, EVs are the ultimate commuter cars. Let's face it, hands down, they are the best, and BYD seem to knock it out of the park when it comes to the space. In fact, when it comes to budgeting, I don't think you're going to find something better than what they bring to market. We'll talk about that more later. Let's speak about this now. How does the Dolphin drive? What's it like out on the road? Well, first things first, let's get over some of the facts, the figures. There are 2 types available. This is the standard range model, which means that it has a 70 kilowatt motor, and then you get the range extender with a 150 kilowatt motor. Now that's good for more performance, more speed, but also bigger range thanks to a bigger battery cell. This has the 45 kilowatt hour battery pack, where that has the 60 kilowatt hour battery pack. Pricing for this vehicle starts at about 540,000 Rand, which I think already is exceptional, but not perhaps as exceptional as what BYD are bringing to the market here in Mzansi. When this video drops, they'll be on the cusp of releasing the Atto 1. Now that is the smallest and most affordable car which we would have seen in South Africa by a long way. Prices are hinted strongly anywhere between the 350 and 400,000 Rand mark. And when you consider that the Atto one will be by far and a long way, the cheapest electric vehicle in South Africa, that's exceptional. We're also looking at perhaps about 300 kilometers of range there, and that's with about 100 of your hard-earned rands giving you that range. So in terms of value, they are knocking it out of the park. Is it any wonder they've revolutionized the space of mobility? Whether it be your smartphone, your laptop, pretty much most things in our lives, they're phenomenal blade batteries. BYD has had an impact, but it's out here on the road experiencing the Dolphin that you can see what they're on about. Where things, though, also get incredible and exceptional, particularly when you take the value of the vehicles they bring to market, is some of the tech, the clever stuff, as well as this unique and impressive interior space. So let's discuss some of what it offers. Now you see, I wasn't joking. The weather is pretty rough out there, but I'm glad I'm seated in here because it is a lovely place to be seated. Not only in general, but particularly at this price point, the level of trim, the build, the quality in here feels really, really premium. I love the styling touches, these door handles almost inspired by a wave, as are these air vents or the surrounds. It really looks incredibly good. Now up front of me, the BYD steering wheel. What I like is some of the details. Physical style buttons. You've got these little sliders here for volume, for instance. There's a couple of other clever ones which we'll get onto in a second. But above that, the digital instrumentation cluster. Now that's your driver display. All your key driver-led information, the amount of kilowatts that it's consuming, or rather putting back as it's regenerating, the amount of range available, as well as the general warnings the vehicle will be displaying to the driver if necessary. It's small, but yet it's neat, it's clear, and it's precise. You've got a button here for your ADAS semi-autonomous drive modes, but barring this, let's get onto the big one here. We got a pad here, perfect place to rest your mobile phone, bearing in mind that that probably too features some of BYD's clever technology. And you got this. It's a landscape media display. Now it's large, it looks impressive, extremely quick to the touch and high definition. You can see the processing power is good. You got a voice assistant where you can say, "Hi BYD, what's the current weather like in Cape Town?"
Currently it is rainy in Cape Town with a temperature of 55 degrees Fahrenheit.
Easy as that. It'll give you the weather report, for instance. You can obviously adapt it to your location, ask it a bunch of questions. It's intelligent. It's using the web. But you also find that, let's say you get a bit bored of that. Not that you would in any other car because you wouldn't have an option. In the BYD, though, things are a bit clever. You can set that to be a tablet-style portrait display at the touch of a button. Now, this works incredibly well, and I love the way everything just shifts. And if you want to use your, say, wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, your media sources, well, that's not a problem either. You can jump in wirelessly, and it is such a treat enjoying the full widescreen display. Have a look at the mapping here. Look how fast it is to the touch and how well it generates thanks to the processing power. That means you've got all your streaming and media sources, your favorite ones, immediately available on the get-go, or jump baked straight into the BYD media system. It really has been well thought out and well put together. Then we get onto these seats, electric of course, they're beautiful in the way they've put together, the styling, the colors in here, they're also ventilated, you get incredible sound in here, a lot of space seated back there thanks to a fully flat load floor and a surprisingly decent amount of boot space, particularly when you take its compact city slicking dimensions. You can of course drop those seats down if you need, but overall what I'm saying here is with USB Type A and Type C ports, one up front there, two at the back, a charging socket, stowage spaces, cup holders, and a really neat styling, the interior is certainly a very special place to be seated and very much up there when it comes to looking at the BYD Dolphin. Is it any wonder that BYD are on such a roll to change mobility that they've become the best-selling automaker globally? They are a brand on a mission. That, of course, is backed by their peace of mind warranty. That's a 5-year, 100,000 kilometer warranty, 8-year, 150,000 kilometers on the battery, as well as 60,000 kilometer 3-year service plan. They've got a growing dealer network. Charge points are growing out there. And because this accepts AC and DC charging, you can get the battery from 0 to 80% in a very fast time, particularly if you go to one of those faster chargers. Couple this with the fact that it cost you about a third of fuel or thereabouts in the calculation, it is a seriously impressive proposition. So with that futuristic whirring, the noise that we're getting, the ultimately perfect dimensions for city slicking and commuting, as well as its wealth of interior features, sophistication, the likes of its advanced ADAS autonomous drive modes, which work flawlessly well, just the array of switchgear and the overall essence, flair and fun that it brings to the market, as well as beautiful smooth ride, make this an exceptional choice.